Bangaloreans, good morning. As you all know, ever since the highly proactive Justice Santosh Hegde retired as the Lokayukta, the post has remained vacant. Justice Shivraj Patil, who took over from him lasted just a few days as he had to make an unceremonious exit. The government and the governor are now on a collision course over the issue. We need a Lokayukta. It acts as the watchdog. To put pressure on the government, a few well-meaning citizens have come together and launched a Save Lokayukta campaign. Two members of the core committee are with me, Justice M.F. Saldana and Ms. Jayashree Jain. Welcome Justice Saldana and Ms. Jayashree.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Balram.
Justice Saldana,
yes.
Ever since Justice Santosh Hegde retired, the institution of Lokayukta is mired in controversies. First, Justice Shivraj Patil quit. Then the governor and the government got into a collision course. Where lies the problem? Who is at fault?
Well, I will summarize it. Quite frankly, you're probably aware of the fact that the governor is only the appointing authority. It is the government, the state of Karnataka, that is the chief minister on the basis of the advice in council, who has got to recommend a name to him. Now, in order to do this, there are a few safety requirements, or shall I say procedural requirements. One of them is that since you are dealing with a member of the judiciary, a retired judge, the Chief Justice is one of the recommending authorities, or in other words, there's got to be some scrutiny process from the judicial angle. Take for instance the integrity factor, reputation, quality of judgments, professional competence, etc. In addition to this, the government will do its own scrutiny, but the leader of the opposition, he is also a responsible person, and his views are also required to be ascertained.
Yes.
Then at the end of this procedure, the recommendation comes to the governor. Now, some people feel that the governor is obliged to rubber stamp whoever is recommended. That is not true, because the governor also has his own responsibility in ascertaining the suitability. The governor in this instance did immediately accept the name of Justice Shivraj Patil. There was no problem. To my mind, the government should have been careful before recommending that name, because Justice Shivraj Patil is a very fine judge, a very fine person. I know him very well, no problems with regard to that. But there was one very serious impediment with regard to his being a member and his holding in the judicial layout, you see. And this, to my mind, is an insurmountable hurdle, because a High Court judge is a constitutional functionary. He can never ever call himself a judicial employee, and those allotments and those allocations were wrong, etc. Now, when you hold a very sensitive post like that of the Lokayukta, if you yourself are under a cloud from this angle, it becomes very embarrassing. And when this was pointed out by the media and by the public, Justice Shivraj Patil very honorably, he said, look, it's something that will embarrass me in my work, and he resigned. And the Lokayukta also resigned at that time on the same ground. Now, my view of the matter is that the government should not have recommended the name having regard to the fact that this impediment existed. Now, the government insists, as we know from the media, the government insists that they want Justice Banurmat to be considered for the post of Lokayukta, and they say that we will not recommend anyone else. Now, having regard to what has happened, the governor has time and again told them that please recommend somebody who is not under any such impediment, because you got to consider the very important thing is that it's a 5-year assignment. Yes. And the person he's got to work for 5 years there, and he's got to work without any problems. Now, if he's under an impediment and people question him and point fingers at him, he'll not be able to function there. So the governor is very right in saying that please recommend. You see, the governor has got to see whether the candidate recommended is suitable and effective. Those are two factors. That is the problem.
Ms. Jayashree,
Yeah.
the government makes it appear that there is no honest and suitable retired judge. Because the way they're going about is, you have only one name, please clear it. What do you think? What do you have to say about it?
See, this is basically a question of they not wanting a suitable person there. See, it's not that they cannot find. They do not want a proper person,
Or they want a suitable person there.
they want there which suits them,
That's
rather,
what I'm
which
saying.
suits them. And so it's a person, it's not a person, so that he is not a person of impeccable integrity. See, if a person of impeccability comes and sits there, they know there will be noose around all their necks. So when such is the case, anybody can never expect them to appoint a proper or recommend a proper person with the impeccable integrity who can go about controlling this massive cancer of corruption. So the thing is, they don't have the intent also, because the whole thing rests on the factor that if somebody is there to help you out there, so you will be safe. So as long as they can put somebody there to help them and protect them, so they will be safe, and they know that if they put a proper person, all of them will be in trouble, irrespective of the parties. See.
Can I add a rider,
yes,
please?
yes,
Please.
please.
Two things to what Jayashree said. I fully agree with what she said, but may I add a rider, Mr. Balram, because I am making the direct charge, and I am not wrong here, that this is a deliberate attempt to keep the post vacant. Because if you keep on recommending the wrong candidate or a candidate whom the governor cannot appoint, he will not make he can't make the appointment, and therefore the post remains vacant. Now, what happens when the post remains vacant? There are a large number, there are at least 24 very sensitive cases that are pending before the courts, and we've already seen the results. Because one of the best officers from there was posted out after 60 days. A very convenient and one of the loyalists has been put there, and as Jayashree rightly said, see, the person they want, now assuming they put somebody there, they want somebody who is a pliable person. And the first part of the game, of course, is even better, because you keep on recommending the wrong person, the governor cannot appoint him, therefore there is this void, and during the void period, one is that no complaints can be registered. Do you know that there are 500 to 600 corruption complaints which come to that institution every month? And now because of the last 4 months, there has been no Lokayukta. The people have stopped complaining, but there is nobody to attend. And the second part of it, if I can add, is that in the absence of the Lokayukta, you have to fall back on the office staff, or in other words, the police officers who are there. And the police officers can easily be pressurized. After all, these are all big people and they are politicians. I would not use the word corrupted, but they can certainly be pressurized. And we have seen the results, because already in 2 of the important cases, one relating to the Home Minister, they have said there is no case. And is there in black and white. Serious case of corruption. But they reported to the court that there is no case, and the court has had to dismiss it.
Mr. Justice Sandana, you say the governor can withhold, or sorry, I put it in this way. Some legal experts say governor has no option but to accept whatever the cabinet says or the chief minister says. But in Gujarat, he appointed the Lokayukta.
Well, it is not true. It's not true to say that the governor is a rubber stamp. That is not the correct legal position. The correct legal position is, because in that case you would not need a governor. What do you need the governor there for? If he is supposed to rubber stamp what
Just
the government
I want to
decides.
add.
Government's argument. You want to add?
Yeah, I want to add one thing, because the governor here, we should observe that he has a constitutional responsibility to keep the Lokayukta institution strong. So when they recommend weak candidates and they recommend candidates of their choice who can help them out there, he should be very careful in finding out the background of that recommendation and who has recommended, what is the pressure for that recommendation. So this is what the governor has been saying all throughout. See, the thing is, he is not only, I mean, one side he is bound by the cabinet decision or by the recommendation of the chief minister. At the same time, he has the duty of constitutional responsibility of appointing the proper person. Appointment rests with him. So finally.